Here's part two of the stick tricks lessons. Um, so I I like to use these, man, when I'm really trying to impress somebody. A lot of people want to be impressed nowadays. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this time so you can see the snare, cause I'm gonna do it on the snare. It involves the snare for sure, and we'll get right to it. All right, this stick trick doesn't have a specific name, but I rarely see anybody do it, and I really think that it's really cool, and I really think that everybody should really learn it. You know why? Because, to learn something new just makes you better at your craft, and you should be doing everything you can do to be the best. So, if you want to be the best, these are one of the things that you have to do. So, this stick trick is pretty cool. It also involves two sticks, and you start off with putting the stick on the snare. Boom, right? Uh, but now what you want to do is you're not gonna hit the snare with this stick. You're gonna hit this. You're gonna hit this stick with this stick on top of it, right? You got that sound happening, right? So you just let this right hand just guide. Just chill. It doesn't have to do anything. Just chill. Doesn't have to be all tight. Just loose. Hit use your left hand to hit the stick. Let it bounce. Let it bounce. Then you're going to rotate your wrist over just like that. After a while, rotate the wrist. Boom. Now you got to quickly put the index finger on the other side. So you got to go from this to that. And then you got to go from that to that. Then you got to go from that to that. And then you go back. You can't go from that because then the stick is out of your hand, of course. But you go from this to that to that to that. And then you go back to that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to roll the stick over our arm just like that and bring it back down. And the whole time, we're going to be doing that. So, watch. This stick trick is not easy. And also, I left one part out. Once you get to the pinky, right? Once you get to the pinky, you got to now put the stick with the index and the thumb and hold it. Just like that. So, you're holding the stick, crossover one, the index, the middle, the ring, flip the stick to the index and the thumb, and then now you're there. And then you got to figure out how to make it roll up your arm and back down while you're playing. So that part is the hardest part. You kind of got to bend down while you do it, because if you stay straight, it's just going to slide off. I'm going to demonstrate this for you right now. I did it. It's not an easy trick at all. It's going to take some time to practice. And once you get that, you will be the man or the woman. Okay, here is another cool trick. It's not a stick trick, but it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. So what I like to do is while I'm playing, I like to put the stick underneath the snare and scratch the wires with the stick. So imagine what that sounds like. Sounds like a DJ. You know what I'm saying? Sounds like a DJ. So, but like I said earlier, everything you do, you have to put a beat to it. Because if you don't put a beat to it, it's just a noise. And people are more impressed by what you do with a beat rather than what you can just do without it. I don't care if it's a drum roll. If it's the craziest drum roll ever, people are not going to really care until you put it in a beat. So, here's a stick trick. Just find the wire. find the wire. That's it, man. Scratch those wires, brother. Scratch those wires. And while you're at it, why don't you put some hi-hat to it? Huh? Why don't you do that? The stuff I'm showing you is not easy, but it is cool. So I want you to practice this 15, 16 hours a day. Why not? What do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain. So take this and practice it. And I want to see you put a post up doing this saying Jerome Flood taught me this. And I want you to spread the word. I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I want you to follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, because you love me, right? Yeah, you love me.